What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We are here to talk about Ron Harper, LeBron James, and old head hate. Okay. Now I know I'm gonna rub some people wrong with the title of old head hating. I might rub some of my elder statesmen the wrong way with the term old head, right? But it's really a term of endearment for me. You know what I'm saying? My pops is an older gentleman, so I hung around older people my whole life. A lot of older people took to me in my lifetime, so I don't mean no disrespect when I say old heads. But we have to address the elephant in the room, and that's the hateration and holleration that comes from the elder generation as it pertains to LeBron James. There is something in the air with it's something about him that they always like to throw shots at him for some reason, right? But again, this old head hating has got to be addressed. It's getting ridiculous. Ron Harper throws shots at LeBron James. Now I'm hearing he's walking it back. Now he's saying he was just playing. He was just joking. It's just jokes. Relax, people. Okay. Okay. All right. If you say so, you know damn well it wasn't no just jokes. You tried to get that hating shit off. And then when you saw people gave pushback to it, you tried to walk it back. See, I don't like an old head that don't like to stand on what he was saying. I don't like an old head that try to walk back stuff. No, no, no. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Say it with your chest too, right? Because see, Ron Harper is not the only older gentleman who likes to throw these little shots at LeBron James. I find it coming from several individuals, right? Byron Scott, old and Polynese, them old hating ass motherfucker, them type of dudes there, right? It's been a little thing that's been in the air. And I told y'all, I think they do this because they think they can say these little stuff about LeBron James so they can get their little clicks and views, and they still can be able to shake LeBron James' hand when they see him in public. They think they can throw shots at him, and then it all be cool. It be all good when they see him. They still can say what's up to him and dap him up and all of that. I don't like stuff like that, right? And I'm like you, bro. Why would he even say that about LeBron James? Yeah, you there with your two kids, your sons that's playing in the NBA. And instead of talking about your relationship with your two kids and talking about how proud you are of your two children, your two sons, you get to talk about I'm not LeBron James. I don't tell my kids what to do. And I'm like, man, what? What are we? What? Why are you even bringing up that man's name? Talk about your kids. Why, when somebody asks you about your children, you got to talk about another man and his kids? That's lame to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? And Ron too damn old for stuff like that. Right? He too damn old for that. I'm not LeBron James. I'm not LeBron James. I don't tell my kids what to do. Yeah, we know you not. We know you not LeBron James, Ron. We know you not LeBron James, Ron. Come on, fam. Come on, bro. Like again, and then when Bronny first got into the league, Ron Harper was siding with LeBron. Man, anybody that don't like that, they got a problem. He was all with Bronny getting into the league. Now he's trying to throw little shots. You see what I'm saying? It be all this little back and forth flip flopping. I don't like shit like that. You see what I'm saying? He been around a lot of these other old head haters, and they didn't let it get into his spirit. That's that old lame shit. You know what I'm saying? Byron Scott, he another one. He throw a lot of backhanded compliments to LeBron James. He throw a lot of shots at LeBron before he say something good about him. Right? And again, they're gonna have to learn. They're gonna have to learn. Bron ain't been too nice with these dudes over the years. Because Byron Scott, you was good. You was never great though, Byron. You was good. You was never great. And trying to throw shots all the time. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Didn't know how to coach young talent at all. Byron, the young players couldn't stand him. But it's just like, I don't know, man. It's a lot of that come from the elder statesman. Stephon Marbury. He spent almost 2 years hating on LeBron James vigorously on his Instagram. Vigorously throwing shots at LeBron James continuously over and over again to a point where Dwayne Wade say, man, I'm going to unfollow you. And he got mad that Dwayne Wade unfollowed him. And he knew it was because he kept throwing shots at LeBron James over and over again. And Dwayne Wade like, nah, man, I'm not finna keep following you on here. You going out of your way to say something negative about LeBron James over and over again. And then when you see LeBron James in person at the Olympic Games, he's trying to tap Bron on his chest, trying to get that from Bron. Bron looked at his ass, Bron didn't even look at his ass, kept going. He dapped up Carmelo and kept going. And when everybody pointed out how LeBron ignored Stephon Marbury, then Steph get mad. Steph started getting mad like crazy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but Ron Harper, man, I'm shocked at him. I'm shocked at him considering the fact that he was all supporting Bronny getting drafted. He was in support of Bronny playing with LeBron James Sr., right? Now it's, I'm not LeBron James. I don't tell my kids what to do. See, now you didn't embarrass your kids, because now they might get asked questions. They might get asked questions about what their father had to say about one of the pantheon great players in the league. They got to answer questions about what's your father's comments about a Mount Rushmore talent. You know what I'm saying? His kids looked embarrassed when he said that. You know what I'm saying? They still in the league playing against LeBron. So it's just like, I don't like stuff like that, man. It's just, I feel like a lot of the elder statesmen go out of their way to throw shots at him. And it's really for no reason, none whatsoever. Because Dylan Harper is nice. He nice. But Ron Harper Jr., he averaging the same amount of points as Bronny, and he been in the league for like 2 more years than Bronny has. And he's averaging the same thing as Bronny, So it's like, people are like, oh, because I hear, the only reason I bring that up, because I hear people say, well, Ron didn't force his kids to be in the league. LeBron is forcing, and he's forcing it on everybody. Man, and Ron Harper's kids belong in the league. And I'm like, Ron Harper Jr. averaging the same points as Bronny, and Ron Harper Jr. he in his 4th year? You see what I'm saying, man? Like, so it's just, this is that old head hating stuff, man. I see a lot of older gentlemen. It's a lot of older gentlemen that show love, and it's really, really like, they really, really solid individuals, and they're stand-up people. But then you got people like Ron, who find out it's popular to throw shots at certain guys, and then they just, I guess, follow the peanut gallery. They just go behind the crowd. Because Ron Harper sees his contemporaries, he see his peers doing the same thing, and so now he wants to follow suit. And all these people that's doing all that throwing shots, as soon as LeBron James retires, they're gonna be the first ones talking about how great he was, how much a great ambassador of the game he was, how he was great for basketball, how he was a top tier talent, how he's a Mount Rushmore player. They're gonna be lauding him with all of this praise. But now that he's still in the league, you find it your job, your mission to throw salt and throw shots. Stuff like that is just, I don't respect that. I don't, especially coming from Ron Harper, because you were singing a different tune when Bronny got drafted with the 55th pick. You were singing a different tune. You was like, anybody that hates that, that's lame and all of that. Now you're against. Now you saying, I'm not LeBron James. I don't tell my kids what to do. And this notion that Bronny never wanted to be drafted, or he never wanted to play with his son, or Bronny never wanted to play with his father. Where are y'all getting this from, that he didn't want to play with LeBron Sr.? Where are y'all getting this from? You know what I'm saying? That he didn't want to be in the NBA playing alongside his dad. Y'all don't know that. He never said that. You know what I'm saying? No, Cho Boy is hating. Old head hating. Because why, when it's time for you to talk about your son and your family, why are you bringing up another man and his kids? That's hating shit. Ain't nobody asked you about Bronny. Ain't nobody asked you about LeBron. You sitting there with your 2 sons in the league. You know what I'm saying? You sitting there with your 2 sons in the league, and then you bringing up LeBron James' name for no reason. Like, what? And that be the problem too, because them same dudes, they steady be wanting to shake LeBron's hand when they see him. Like, no. That's why I ain't respect Stephon Marbury. If you're gonna disrespect LeBron, and Stephon was, every time LeBron missed a shot, he will put it on his Instagram and say, how you the king, you miss a jumper. How you a king, you miss a mid-range shot. How you the king, you miss a wide open three. How you the king, you miss a free throw. And then want to dap up LeBron when you see him in person. Get your little ass out of here. Vaseline eating ass motherfucker. Get your ass out of here, bro. Petroleum jelly eater. You feel me? Yeah, nah. You feel me? Like I don't get how, and that's why I said, Cho boy, that's hate. When you are asked, when you sitting there with your sons, it's a time for you to talk about your boys in the NBA, and you use that time to bring up another man and what he do with his kids instead of talking about your children. You feel me? That's hating. Ain't nobody asked you nothing about LeBron and his kids. You want to bring that up. And then when they ask you about it, you get on Twitter and say, it's just jokes. Relax, people, it's just jokes. No, it's not. And I don't like that. Old head, stand on what you said, bro. Don't walk it back, old head. Stand on what you were saying. Don't try to, don't do that. If you mean what you say, stand on what you saying. Don't walk it back. Say it with your chest poked out, brother. Don't run from the comments because you meant what you said, and now you seeing it's backlash from it. Now it's just jokes. I don't like stuff like that. Say, yeah, I said it, and I meant this. To say that, and then I can respect it. It's still hating. I'm not gonna respect it. It's still hating. But then it's like, okay, stand on your business. Don't talk about it's just jokes now. No, Ron Harper, senior, don't do that. That's hating, and y'all know it's hate. You feel me? And I know a few of y'all gonna come on here with y'all little retorts and all of that, and that's fine. We can talk about it, but that's hating though. Why you got a chance to talk about your boys in the NBA doing a thing? I hope I didn't say NFL earlier. Your boys in the league, and you want to talk about, oh, I ain't LeBron James. I ain't LeBron James. I don't tell my kids what to do. Bro, ain't nobody asked you about LeBron, bro. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? That's my point. Ain't nobody asked you about LeBron. Just talk about your sons. But see, now again, when he saw people was saying that it was hating, now Ron Harper singing, now he wanna walk all that back. That ain't admirable to me. That's not. You know what I mean? Like, what? But I don't know, man. It's not shocking though, because a lot of the elder statesmen, they pull this with LeBron continuously. They try to figure out angles to throw shots at him, and then when they see him, they still want to say what's up to him and act like it's all love. When you ask them what is it, they say, "Oh, I love LeBron." No, you don't. Say you don't like him. Just say that. Don't sit up here and lie and say you love him, LeBron, after you throw shots at him over and over again. Don't say you love him. Just say, I don't really like dude. For this reason, that reason, that reason. Okay, then we know what's up. Okay, cool. Don't lie and say you love LeBron and then come and you throw all these backhanded compliments to him. Throw all these shots at him. Again, Byron Scott do that all the time. All the time, right? Him and Olden Polynese trade bait. Olden Polynese. Trade bait. Old trade bait Olden. He get up there talking that over and over again. Like, come on, man. Like, what? I love LeBron, but then go and throw in 40,000 comments about how you hate him. That's corny. It's corny, man. Like, bro. Just randomly bringing up LeBron name for no reason. You sitting there with your two sons. You know what I mean? You got a time for you to have a good time with your sons and celebrate them. You bring it up. I'm not LeBron James. I don't tell my kids what to do. What? Well, first, Ron, we know you not LeBron James. We know that. So you ain't got to say that now. We all know that. Everybody know that. But I just find, I don't think it's certain things I don't know, man. Like I said, I was raised by James Evans, old school type black man, man. It's just certain stuff. If I would have done that, he'd have called me, hey, why is you bringing up this man and his kids? And they talking about you and your son. Yeah, and I don't like that. Again, Byron Scott does this quite often. Stephon Marbury do that to LeBron James. Olden Polynice, now him. So a lot of people be looking at ways to throw shots at him. And again, I think they do this because they feel like they can throw these little shots at LeBron for clicks and views. And then when they see LeBron in person, they feel like he's still gonna show them love and he's still gonna dap them up. So it's okay to do this. Unlike Michael Jordan, if you say something about Mike he don't like, he's not gonna talk to you for 20, 30 years. He's not gonna ask Charles Barkley. He's not gonna talk to you, right? So they know they can't say certain stuff about Mike because Mike ain't gonna talk to them ever in life. They're gonna get cut off, right? Same thing. Kobe probably was never gonna talk to them if they say stuff about Kobe, right? But some reason they always throw shots at LeBron James, and then when they see him, they want to shake his hand. Like what? LeBron gets hated on because he crowned himself the GOAT. That's lame. That's lame. Like Muhammad Ali said, he was the greatest, right? You know, a lot of people. Floyd Mayweather called himself the best ever. So now it warrants to throw shots at him when a man asking you about your kids, you bring up another man and his children. Come on, man. Like, yeah, man. He said LeBron has too much class. Yeah, I do. I want LeBron to start cussing folks out. Like I want LeBron to get like Kevin Durant and just start saying ill, crazy stuff to people. I respect how KD don't give a damn. He let the cannon fly. He don't care. I'd be talking about dudes so bad, for real. I promise you, if I was LeBron James, might as well hate me. I'd be telling dudes, bro, I was better than you when I was a sophomore in high school. Stop talking to me, bro. For real. Like I was better than you um in high school. Like I'm not Ron Harper wasn't better than LeBron when LeBron was a sophomore or junior in high school. We're not finna do that. And I know about the years when Ron Harper was in Cleveland, Ron was getting to it, Ron was hooping. He still wasn't better than LeBron. You know what I'm saying? I know about when Ron was hooping, averaging over 20. Still wasn't better than LeBron James. But again, sometimes I want LeBron to be like KD. Just start just fine. I mean, just start talking about people crazily. For real. Like what? I couldn't do it, man. Boy, I be telling folks about themselves all the time. For real. But Stephon Marbury, I would have been called him a Vaseline eater. I'd have been called him a petroleum jelly consumer. It's just no way. Like I would have been got down on Stephon Marbury. But he said he needs to show that same energy that he had for Stephen A. Smith more often. Yeah, man. Go ahead and show that to people. Because that's they think. They say this about LeBron because they feel like they can say little things about him negatively on the podcast to get views and clicks. And then when they see him in person, it's gonna be all love, right? Like even Cap, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one of the greatest players to ever grace this earth, right? Was the previous all-time leading scorer. When LeBron was getting close to that record, Kareem starts sending shots at LeBron James, starts talking crazy about LeBron. When LeBron passed him up on a scoring record, Kareem was there to pass the ball off to LeBron. LeBron was gracious towards him, right? And I get it, man. It's an elder statesman. It's a big moment. It's bigger than you and Kareem and whatever Kareem been saying. That moment is bigger than that. So I get it, right? But yeah, man, sometimes I wish LeBron didn't care about his image at times so he could start going off. Guard, I promise you, boy, what? LeBron couldn't be my homie. That couldn't have been my friend. If I was Drew Joyce, one of them, Romeo Travis, them, I'm talking greasy. They gonna be so mad at me. And but again, I know they don't want to do that because it looks like it's coming from LeBron when they say certain stuff. You know? And Yeah, they don't say nothing about Steph because they know Steph is not. Steph is not really like. Again, they try to act like Steph and LeBron is the same player. They're not. Steph is allowed to score 8 points and stuff in games. He allowed to have games where he get 9 points and shit like that, and it'd be cool. LeBron scored 8 and 9 points in a game, 8 or 9 points. He's going to get rung through the fire, even at 41 years old. Steph be having games. He's had several games where Steph been under 10 points, and it's perfectly fine when he do that. Steph has several games where he scored under 10 points and all that. It's cool. It's fine. If LeBron James does that, he's going to get demolished by the media. He's going to get demolished by the media. So anyway, yeah, I'm looking at Ron Harper like, Ron, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is we doing, Ron? You could have used that time. So LeBron is just not likable, very passive aggressive. Kobe Bryant wasn't likable either at all, very much an asshole, right? So a lot of players that weren't likable. Michael Jordan is not a likable person at all. He's an amazing basketball player. Mike is not likable at all. He's an amazing basketball player though, right? So like, what do they got to do? What does that got to do with you bringing up another man when you sitting with your sons? You feel me? You sitting with your sons and you sitting with your kids, you bring up another man and his kids. I'm not LeBron James. I don't tell my kids what to do. What? Boy? You know what I'm saying? Like, get this weirdo up out of here. Clown. I guess people don't respect passive aggressive. It's a lot of dudes that be passive aggressive. Ron Harper, passive aggressive. Cause he got on there and now he talking about it's just a joke. Ron said all of that and then got on Twitter talking about it's just a joke, relax. No. Stand on what you said, old head. You said it with your chest. No, I don't like old heads that do that. Stand on what you said. Don't try to walk it back now. You said, I'm not LeBron James. I don't tell my kids what to do. And then when you saw the ridicule, now you talking about it's just jokes, relax. No, it's not. Stand on what you said with say it with your chest out. Don't do that. That's passive aggressive. When they ask you about it, you act like oh, I'm just joking. Hey, what? Yeah, just joking my ass. What? You wasn't playing. You was for real, for real. And now you afraid to you don't want to bring it up now. Dylan can ball. He can. Ron Harper Jr., he averaging the same amount of points as Bronny, and he been in the league for 2 more years than Bronny. Dylan can hoop though. He can. But Ron Harper Jr. averaging 2 points, just like Bronny, he been in the league 2 more years than Bronny. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, man. You know, that's the thing. Cause like, bro, like a lot of these elder statesmen do that to LeBron. Byron Scott, he another one that do that a lot. Byron Scott say a lot of little passive aggressive shit about Bron. He throw a little shots at Bron continuously, then be like, I love LeBron. No, the fuck, no, you don't. And it's okay to say you don't like him. Just say that. Just say that. You see what I'm saying? I hate when people say you will never hear me say I love Kobe Bryant, because that'd be a goddamn lie. You will never hear me say I love Kobe Bryant as a player. I would never say that. You ain't never heard me say that on here, right? That would be very dishonest for me to say that. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of them would get on here and say, I love LeBron, and then throw 10 million shots at him. Huh? No, you don't. And it's okay to say you don't. That's weak. That's weak. Say I don't like him and say for this reason, for that reason, for that reason, for that reason, for that reason. That's cool. You feel me? Don't get on here. A lot of them do that. A lot of them do that. Byron Scott sit up there and do that on his podcast. He do. for clicks and views. He throw shots at LeBron, but then when he see LeBron, I bet you he'd be ready to shake LeBron's hand. So to me, that's weak. That's coward. That's corny, right? Olden Polynese. Again, trade bait, Olden Polynese. Trade bait. He get up there and do the same thing. He say he love LeBron and then say 12 million things about LeBron that's negative. I love LeBron, but it's this, it's that, it's that. And then a lot of it be disingenuous. A lot of that be false information or disingenuous shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's that old head hate. I don't like you, but I'm scared to say I don't like you. That's that old head hate shit. No, say you don't like me. Stand on that. Stand on you don't like me. You feel me? That old I hate you. Yeah, they sit up in there, they ask him about his kids. They say he's sitting with his kids and say, I'm not LeBron James. I'm not LeBron James. I don't make my kids do stuff. I don't make my kids like what? And Ron Harper was the main one when Bronny got drafted, saying he thought it was dope. If you got a problem with that, you know what I'm saying? Basically saying it was whack if people had a problem with it. Now he's sitting there saying that. You see what I'm saying? When you got a moment with your kids and you bring up, nobody asked about LeBron at all. I'm not LeBron James. Ain't nobody asked you about bro. You sitting with your two boys. You sitting with your babies. And I'm not LeBron James. Boy, Ron, what? I wish LeBron, again, so he got to be like Kevin. Kevin Durant just talk greasy to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Hey, forget the sponsorships. Forget the I mean, not the advertisement, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, forget the sponsorships. Forget all of that. We ain't got to talk crazy. Cause they not gonna get it till you do that. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I bet you Ron see LeBron and still gonna shake LeBron's hand, say, what's up, big fella? What's up? That's the same shit Stephon Marbury was doing. Stephon talk crazy about LeBron forever. They didn't want to dap LeBron up. What's up, man? Show goof ass down, boy. You feel me? Yeah, show goof ass down. You know? Boy, what? Bron, I couldn't have been Bron. I'd have had to let old heads know. I'd have been telling dudes I was better than y'all when I was a sophomore in high school. Stop talking to me, fam. You weren't even better than me when I was a sophomore. I was getting to it then. You feel me? If I was a sophomore, I'd have been the starting point guard for the Chicago Bulls, not you. I'd have been saying that. Ron, you'd have been on the bench. If I was in the league, I'd have been Ron, you've been on the bench, I'd have been starting. As a 15-year-old, they would have sat you on the bench, Ron. I'd have had to say stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But Brian cared about his image, like a lot of great players do. Like Michael Jordan cared about his image too. A lot of people feel like that's why he married Juanita, for his image. And I think it even got a quote of him saying that. You know what I'm saying? He married Juanita because it would look good for him to marry her that young. You know what I'm saying? A lot of players, they care about their image. You know, it does a lot for their endorsements and all of that. Certain image they got, whatever. But sometimes you just got to say, damn the endorsements. I don't get no fuck. Nah, bro. Certain dudes can't be talking to me like that. I'd have been like, man, what? You know, so for all the people out there who say LeBron doesn't get unnecessary hate, y'all see what we saying? Yeah, because it had nothing to do with, they didn't ask him about LeBron James. LeBron wasn't a topic of discussion, nothing. It's just, I'm not LeBron James. I don't force my kids to do stuff. Yeah, man. Yeah, Juanita was his starter wife. He didn't want to marry. A lot of people felt like he didn't really want to get married then. But he did it because he cared about the league image. You know what I'm saying? The image as a face of the league. It's good for you to have a wife and to be a man that settled down and to be, you know, a family man and all of that. So he did, right? Because it's people that say, man, he really wasn't ready to get married, but he did that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So salute to Ron, though. Ron is definitely an underrated player, but you feel me? What is we doing? Like, I don't get that. Is where you lose me every time. I'm sure I lose you, Black Mom. I'm sure I lose you. But again, why are you bringing up another man? I know I lose you. Huh? How do you know that to be true about Mike? I didn't say it's true. I said they say that. I don't know that to be true. I said they say that he really wasn't ready to get married. I didn't say that's a fact. I said they say the rumors say he really wasn't ready to get married at that point. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's like if I'm not mistaken, it's like quotes that people have associated with Mike saying like, you know, that they feel like he got married because a lot of people around him. They say a lot about LeBron. You come in here and defend that shit though. No, but it's a lot of people that say, I think it's like quotes that say he wasn't really ready to get married like that. But it's a good for image, you know. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know, but it say that athletes, the premier athletes care about the image. It is what it is. It's good for you to be married, man, and all of that, right? But yeah, hell, I say I think LeBron James hit Rihanna, and that's we don't know that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know that to be true, and I think he did though. Bro, I told you I don't like Kobe Bryant. I told y'all that. Black Mall. You heard me say that before, right? I don't got nothing against Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? I don't got nothing against Michael Jordan except when he gave that money to the police. When he gave that money to the police, you know what I'm saying, when George Floyd died or whatever. But y'all know I don't like Kobe. I told y'all I don't. I'll never get on here and say, you ain't never heard me say I'm a fan of Kobe Bryant. You ain't never heard that shit come out of my mouth. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I ain't never been no Kobe fan. My whole family know that. My grandma know that. You know what I'm saying? I respect him as a basketball player. He's a great player, but I never was a fan of Kobe Bryant. I don't like the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And Black Maul, the same way when somebody say something about LeBron, you gonna always come around and try to say something, you know, to advocate for the dude that say something about LeBron. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Yeah. But again, so I say things even with LeBron, certain room, like, you know, okay, I don't think when they think he been faithful to Savannah. We don't know that he ain't, but shit, I doubt it. Considering the fact that he done been at the top of the totem pole for nearly all his life. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, man. But like I'm saying, he sit up there and they asked him, he gonna say, Ron get up there talking about I'm not LeBron James. And then they say he got on Twitter and say, I'm just playing, it's just jokes. Man, what? You meant what you said, old head. You meant what you said. Say, dude, because again, a lot of older gentlemen, they always act like they just got a heart of 10 lions in their chest. I seen it. A lot of them act like, man, I stand on everything I'm saying. I don't, you know, a lot of them act like that. That they just, the heart of 5, 10 lions in them. So then, if you got that, then it wasn't no joke. Just say, I wasn't joking. I really don't like him. You know what I mean? Yeah, until unless LeBron get found out, hey, you know, we don't know nothing. If you ask me, I don't think so. But yeah, man. Cause then, like, even when they say, you know, LeBron take away moments or lines up his son to get embarrassed. But in the same breath, right? In that same breath, now Ron Harper's son is they might have to answer questions about, hey, what's your dad say about LeBron? Your dad said this about LeBron. How do you feel? You know what I mean? Like, it's just unnecessary. But again, a lot of them do that. A lot of the older gentlemen do that. So Byron Scott and them, They all do that. They all say, I love LeBron, and then say 20 negative things about LeBron James. Like, no, you don't like him. And that's okay to say you don't like him, bro. It's okay to say that. Like, again, I ain't never liked Kobe Bryant, like, as a player or nothing like that. I respected him, though. He's an all-time great player, all-time great. But I never was a Kobe fan. And everybody know that about me. Respected him as a player, all-time great player. But I just never was a fan, though. You know what I'm saying? But well, at least Braun has Scottie Pippen as an ally. Scottie don't like LeBron either. He another one. Scottie like LeBron one day, and he don't like LeBron one day. You know what I'm saying? So why wasn't you a Kobe fan? So like for me, there's several reasons. I think it was like certain things about Kobe's demeanor I didn't like. The asshole-ish nature I wasn't a fan of, which is kind of weird because I was a Floyd Mayweather fan, so it's kind of weird. I don't know, maybe I look at it different in combat sports or whatever. Maybe I look at it different in the combat sport. The asshole-ish nature. Um, um, I think, and I'm gonna tell you this too. I really like efficiency in basketball, but I was a fan of Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson was not efficient like that. And I think probably because Allen Iverson reminded me of the guys in the neighborhood that I grew up with. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably why I gravitated to AI, because he was so of the fray. He wasn't above the fray, he was of the fray. Right? And then like there was other things about Kobe too that I just like as I got older, that era, man. Yeah, that era was not efficient. Yeah. Yeah, because AI was not efficient at all. But I liked him. And I think again, because he reminded me of certain guys I grew up with. Cole, personality. I just didn't gravitate to the personality. What I was gonna say. Call a spade a spade. Kobe was a C word. I'm not gonna say he was a C word, but he showed it, you know, sometimes I can see why people would call him that. I'm gonna say that. I'm not gonna say he was that, but I can see why people would think that about him. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say I can see why people would think that about him. You know what I mean? Great player though. I always say Kobe is the second greatest difficult shot maker I ever seen outside of Steph Curry. I just I never gravitated to him, and I never liked him. Only player I liked on the Lakers during that time period was Shaquille O'Neal. That was the only player I liked. In fact, when they played Portland, I was rooting for Portland to win. When they played Sacramento, I was rooting for Sacramento to win. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Kobe got a little certain things about Kobe as I got older too. Like, you know, when you find out, yeah. If I get into it, y'all might get mad. But yeah, I think Diesel had a more gregarious personality, fun loving personality. He had a lot of what did Kobe say about Trayvon Martin? I didn't even know what he said, Black Mom. True, I definitely like Shaq more as a kid. Yeah, but when you find out Shaq had some stuff with him too, though. He got some C word in him for sure too. Shaq got some C word up in him for sure. And you find that out when you get older. You know, and Shaq wasn't like, I'm gonna say this, he wasn't the easiest to play with from the look childish ass jokes he would play. Like putting people's mouthpiece in his ball sack and shit, putting it in his damn, putting your mouthpiece in his shorts. And Shaq didn't shit it in a person's shoe before or some crazy shit like that. What type of shit is that? Like, I had to fight him. I had to fight him. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, so that I found out later on. Yeah, all that type of weird ass. Somebody should have knocked him out then too. all that type of weird, crazy stuff. That weird stuff he would do. But again, as a kid, I didn't know that. Had I known that, I wouldn't have been fucking. He hit that whole I'm supposed to be out enraged because I'm black, talking about he needs more information. Yeah, see stuff like that. That's I can't and I'm gonna be real with you, bro. And y'all know I don't disrespect men who marry outside of their ethnicity. Because I have a lot of people who I love who marry outside of their ethnicity. But a lot of times that happens with men who marry outside of their ethnicity. Sometimes they don't be locked into their blackness. It doesn't help that Kobe grew up overseas, right? So he didn't have a black mindset. He had a world mindset, right? Um, and so his mindset wasn't black first. It was world mindset. And I think a lot of it was due to the fact he married a woman, a Hispanic woman. And then he was in Italy and all of that. And he grew up in Italy for real. So yeah, man, I don't think he was connected to blackness like that because of those things. You know what I'm saying? And I think too, when you marry to somebody non-black, subconsciously, I do think even when you're not trying to, subconsciously, you try your best not to offend that person's family in them. So you stay away from pro-black stances sometimes, right? Now, sometimes it's not always like that. Sometimes brothers still be talking black and be with a non-black woman and all of that too, you know. But I do think when you marry somebody outside of the community, sometimes like even subconsciously, you try to water down your blackness in certain ways so you can appease them or so you don't offend them. You know, you don't want your wife having to answer why is Max so militant? When you go to Thanksgiving dinner, your family calling you, hey, you're sounding really Malcolm X-ish. Hey, I'm a little concerned. I'm a little scared. I'm a little afraid. Most of the time, in black families, you're not finna hit that for real. You know, you got some C-word black families too, right? But yeah, being cool like he thought he would develop that self-hate. Yeah, I think too, man. Like I think growing up overseas had an effect on him as well, man. And I'm gonna say this: Charlie X say Kobe also studied Mike on and off the court. So I think what Charlie X is referring to is that Mike stayed away from social issues. He never talked about black issues in America, nothing like that. And I think Kobe was taking pages out of Mike's book, not just on the court, but off the court as well. Not speaking on any black issues, not talking about anything black for real. Um, just focusing on basketball only, you know? And I think Kobe learned that asshole shit. I think he studied Mike for that asshole shit because Mike had that asshole behavior down pat very well, very well. I often call Mike and Kobe sociopaths, right? And I do think that they were sociopaths for real, meaning that they didn't really care about the feelings of other people, had no regard for it. They just, they just, let's say, yeah, they really don't have a regard for other people, their emotions or feelings. They just, say how they feel regardless, or say what they think is right. You said Mike didn't have trouble off the court though, and that's the difference. Kobe had no friends on his team until Paul. I see autocorrect made it gasoline. You feel me? I used to call Paul Gasol that Paul gasoline. Kobe only lived in Italy for 6 years, from age 7 to 13. Moved back to Philly at 13. But then, even then, though, right? Kobe wasn't living in Philadelphia though, right? Again, my people from Philly, y'all can confirm this. He was living on like the suburban area outside of Philadelphia, right? So I don't know the demographic of people he was around, even when he went to high school. You see what I'm saying? Because it wasn't like he was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He wasn't living in Philly amongst the black citizens of Philly. He was living in the outskirts area. You know? Kobe lived in an upper middle class neighborhood outside of Philly. Yeah. So I think I would equate that to like, and again, I don't know nothing about the area where Lower Marion. I heard that Amish people be living outside over in them areas too. But like, yeah, like if you from Chicago, it's different. It's a difference between living in Chicago and living in like Gurney Mills. That is not the same thing. Living in Chicago and living in Naperville are two completely different things. And maybe that's what the experience Kobe was living like. He was living like a suburban kid for real, not amongst the black citizens of the community of Philadelphia. And I think that also can have a way, like, yeah, it can kind of shape you in many different ways. You know what I'm saying? Look at Russell Wilson. I love Russ. I don't think Russ was rather comfortable. I'm gonna be real with you. I think it's not an it's a unpopular opinion. I think Russell Wilson being with Sierra immersed him more within his blackness. Seriously. And I don't mean that as a joke or just to be playing. I really don't think he was really used to really like playing football with certain type of brothers that was on the Seattle Seahawks team while he was growing up throughout his life. And I think he really didn't know how to I don't think he knew how to communicate with them, which is why Pete Carroll would put a buffer between them. He was the buffer between Marshawn Lynch and Richard Sherman and Russell Wilson. You see what I'm saying? You feel me? It definitely did, and that's why I call him corny, Mac. Not because she should be with Future like these other N-words. Yeah, I think him being with Sierra, a girl from Atlanta, Georgia, had him more ingrained in blackness. I think if Russell Wilson was with his white wife, you would have never seen him at no BET Awards type of event. Yeah, and what's crazy is when I say these things, I say these things knowing that Russell Wilson's grandfather was the president of an HBCU, right? However, that wasn't Russell Wilson's experience. He grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood. He went to a high school that was 7% black. 7%. I went to my high school, Morgan Park. When I was in Morgan Park, especially when I was there, Morgan Park was like 99, 98% black for real. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't think Russ was, he wasn't immersed in black culture like that. And I think the same can be said for Kobe. He was not immersed in black culture. I think Russell Wilson is a great person, a great guy, but he wasn't immersed in that. Y'all went to MP, y'all. 2007, 2011. Yup. I went to MP. How do y'all view Bronny James? I'm not saying every suburban kid is corny. I'm not saying that. But I do think when you grow up in the suburbs and not around black folks for real, especially when you're not connected to your black family, you don't really spend a lot of time with them. I do think like it can shape the way you interact with black people. It can shape the way you think about black people. Um, brother, listen, unsubscribe, brother. Do what you gotta do. It doesn't bother me, man. Go ahead. I do think that. You know what I'm saying? I do think when you don't grow up around black people, it can kind of and you're not connected to your black family, it can kind of shape you where you're not connected to your blackness. You feel me? Trying to think. So they got on Bronny's head for bringing a white girl to homecoming. Yeah. And truthfully, bro, that's gonna happen, right? I know a lot of people it's like, yo, he's a kid, and I get it. He was a kid in high school, bringing a white girl to prom and all of that, right? But a lot of black people looked at it like, Bronny, your father is almost a billionaire, right? And you marrying somebody outside of the community will have you connecting his resources um, to somebody outside of the community, which I understand, right? Now, again, I don't chastise black men for marrying out. or I don't chastise black women for doing it either, right? I only do it when you are the C word, when you're a raccoon when you're doing it, right? You're a butter biscuit eater, I do that. But again, I don't do it because I would have to denigrate a lot of people that I love. I got several homeboys who are not with black women, right? But I do think I understand when people was like, yo, looking like, wait a minute, you know, Bronny, oh, you got a white girlfriend. You got a white girlfriend, you're gonna connect your resources to somebody outside of the community, your father's resources. Mac, you don't go the Umar Johnson route. I mean, yeah, you be with who you want to be with. Um, just don't, again, you be who you want to be with. Don't denigrate the community. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, Charlie X. Be who you want to be with. But no, when I got to talking about Kobe, I think that's why Kobe was not connected. I think a lot of Kobe fans don't like to hear this, but I do think I don't think he was connected to his blackness in a lot of ways. And when I say that, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I really don't think he was, though. That's why certain black issues, Kobe really did. It didn't really affect him like that, right? He really didn't grow up around a whole lot of black folks like that. Was overseas a lot of times. His significant other is not black, right? That's why when he passed away, his wife gave some funds and money to predominantly white institutions, right? Me as a black man, if I got billions of dollars and I pass away, my wife better not give a PWI a dime. And I know that sounds harsh, but as many HBCUs out here who are struggling because they have been intentionally underfunded. My alma mater, not my grad school, because I went to a PWI for grad school. Mississippi Valley State University, my undergrad, my HBCU, the one that Jerry Rice came from, that HBCU better be getting my money. That HBCU better be getting my money. And other historically black colleges that other people don't donate to, right? Because Howard and Hampton and Spelman and Morehouse, they get all the money. No disrespect to them. Great, amazing institutions that have produced upstanding black folks. But there are more HBCUs out there who need some funds. So, yeah, if I would have went to Howard or Hampton, cool, but I didn't. So, yeah, give my money to some HBCUs out here. Give it to Cheney. You feel me? And is that in Philly? Pennsylvania. Give my money to Bethune-Cookman. Give my money to Mississippi Valley State first. Mississippi Valley State University first. And then we can go to some other HBCUs. But my wife better not give a PWI a dime, especially when they already have billion-dollar endowments. Okay? No, not doing that. But anyway, we got to this topic because of, me talking about why I didn't gravitate to Kobe, why I did not like Kobe as a player like that growing up. You know what I'm saying? I respected him as a player. I respected he's an all-time great player. I can't take that away from him if I wanted to. I would be hating to do some shit like that. You feel me? Hey man, Black Maul is crazy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I can't do that. He said, Mac, I'm gonna say it if people don't want to. But Kobe didn't become black coded until he caught that case. He got that tat around. He's talking about Kobe got the tat so he could be black coded. But they also say that for real. They also say that about OJ. And again, when OJ caught that case, that's when he tried to like rebrand himself and make himself more endearing than black folks. Because before that, it was I'm not black, I'm OJ. Till he got in trouble, and now you want to come to the black folks and come to the Baptist church and eat saltine crackers and drink grape juice for communion. You feel me? When at first it was I'm not black, I'm OJ, I'm something different, I'm above y'all black folks, I'm above the fray. And then when he got in trouble, yeah. Let's be real. Anyone old enough to remember? No, I ain't. He said Vanessa made sure Kobe became Hispanic Mexican coded after that. They crazy. Yeah, but I do think, man, and again, there's no disrespect because anybody that I know it's a lot of people that subscribe to my channel who are not with black women. But I do think when you're not married to somebody that's black, when you don't grow up around black people, you know what I'm saying? I think, and you're not connected to your other black family members like that, it do cause you to be off code with black folks. You see what I'm saying? You don't really be on code with them. We got to stop expecting millionaires to do anything for us. Yeah, but I'm gonna be real with you. The wealth gap in America between black people and white people is so wide that it would help if black millionaires poured into the community, right? A lot of us, the rest of us out here struggling. A lot of us out here struggling. We just trying to get by, trying to make it. You see what I'm saying? And to even a point when I talk about Kobe, I could be upset with my parents for not coming to my wedding. I could be upset with my parents for not, initially signing off or being okay with me marrying at 21 years old a girl that was a video girl who was like 19 at the time, right? I can be upset with them for those things, but there's no way on God's green earth. There's no way on God's green earth that I'm going to allow them to not have anything. There's no way, right? Now, again, I have a different relationship with my parents, but there is no way I'm going to allow them to not have anything. There is no way that I'm going to that I'm going to ever allow my wife to think that in my passing, she doesn't have to mention their names. Okay. So that's a whole nother thing, is a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. And I know people are sensitive about that because Kobe is a beloved individual, right? But this is just how I feel. And people always say that his parents didn't want him to marry Vanessa because they were racist. That's not it at all. And I think a lot of people know that. I don't think that's it at all. Vanessa was a video girl when he met her. He met her on a video shoot. You know what I'm saying? He married her, I believe, without a prenup. And he was like 21 years old. And I can tell y'all that my mother and father, oh boy, they would have fought me to the end, tooth and nail, about me marrying a woman at 21 years old early in my career, without a prenup. You know what I'm saying? And I met in a video she's a video girl. She's a young girl. She's like 19. I met her on a video shoot. She was like 17, I think, 17, 18 when he met her. Kobe was like, how old was Kobe at the time he met her? She's like 18, I think, at the time, maybe. Right? Kobe was super, super young too. But you know what I mean? My mom and them would have fought me tooth and nail about that. And it's not about them being racist, it's about them looking out for my overall best interests. But I think that it was easy to say that it was only because Vanessa was Hispanic and because Kobe was black and so on and so forth. So that was like the easy thing to paint. You know what I mean? You said you will hardly see a white millionaire or a billionaire marry a black girl, but people are talking about love. The only one I didn't see was Eve. And when I look at them pictures now, them pictures with EVE look like The Handmaid's Tale. I'm sure she's happy. She got a baby. She got a family. Look great, but yeah, that picture looked crazy at the table with him and his family. It looks like she looked like the help sitting at that table. But anyway, I'm not. Y'all seen that picture, but Eve the only one that I know that's happened to. So yeah, you feel me? But anyway, we gonna reroute the conversation unless y'all want me to keep it here. Yeah, my whole point is that Dr. X said I read the book The Showboat. The issue with Vanessa was she was a video girl, like Max said. She also took advantage of how Kobe had no friends and manipulated him to turn against his family. Yeah, and that's another thing too, knowing he don't got no friends. And then I also heard that Vanessa's mother was encouraging them to get married quick. You know what I'm saying? So I heard that Vanessa's mother was encouraging them to get married quickly. I don't know that to be true, but I heard those are things that was rumblings coming from that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, where are these narratives coming from? Some of it is alluded to by Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert talks around it a lot, and some would say Gilbert is not a reputable source. Well, Miss Red Wine, my daughter's birthday was on Valentine's Day, so I celebrated with my daughter. I celebrated my baby girl for sure. That's about it though. But I celebrated my daughter. My daughter's birthday is Valentine's Day, so she turned 15 years old. But yeah, also it's more than just Gilbert Arenas who alludes to these things, right? He said, you need to do your research, brother. Your research. You need to do your research, brother. So a lot of people that allude to that, you know. And again, it doesn't. You're right. Kobe did not have many friends. Pau Gasol was really like his main friend for real, friend. And they bonded over the fact that Kobe was speaking Italian. Since they were talking to each other in different languages and all of that. That Kobe was very lonely when he met Vanessa. He was happy to finally find someone he felt could be his friend, was also into the same hobbies as he was, such as watching Disney movies. Say happy birthday to your daughter. I appreciate that, Miss Diva Ray. Thank you. Yeah, she turned 15 years old. It's a beautiful thing. It's a blessing, But they were speaking Spanish. Yeah, they speaking Spanish to each other. You know what I mean? And again, this is something that Kobe learned overseas. T-Mac was also close to Kobe early on in their careers. Yeah, I do remember that. I remember Rip Hamilton. Because Rip is from like, I don't know if Rip is from Philly, but he's from like the Pennsylvania area. So, they grew up playing against each other and all of that type of stuff. Say, yeah, Kobe wanted so bad not to be assimilated to the other black NBA players like AI. Is that for real? Because a lot of y'all have been saying he didn't want to be associated or like assimilate to the image that Allen Iverson was presenting. Now, again, I was young, so some of the media rumblings I don't quite remember, but a few of y'all are saying he didn't want to be associated with the image that Allen Iverson, that Bubba Chuck, was portraying. Zeddy say that's not true. Cuz say, yes, it is, bro. Black Mall say that's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, man. And I'm gonna say this too. Do y'all remember when he got in trouble? That interview where John Saunders talks to Kobe about like him bringing up Shaquille O'Neal's name when he was getting interrogated, when he brought up Shaquille O'Neal's infidelities. In that interview, Kobe is talking in an accent to try to sound more inner city. Right after he got in trouble, he talking in a way, and even Kobe's biggest fans, they saying stuff like John Saunders is the GOAT, black journalist, the king of the black sports journalism. John Saunders, yes, rest in peace to the legendary John Saunders. But Kobe in an interview is talking in an accent to appear more urban. You feel me? And even Kobe's biggest fans is like, yo, Kobe is talking much different in this interview. I'm not lying to y'all. People say that about so I do believe when Black Maul say when he got in trouble, he tried to code himself more black coded at the time. Now he would go away from that accent, of course, after he got in trouble. He would go back to talking how you want to talk. Yeah, that interview with John Saunders is on YouTube. The interview with John Saunders is on YouTube for sure. You know what I'm saying? But I remember looking in the comments and people were like, why he talking in such a the word urban, in such an urban accent. You know what I'm saying? He said, not gonna lie, I thought about wearing a yarmulke for my court to look better. I understand Kobe. Lord Jesus. He thought AI image was too ghetto and he leaned towards the cleaner MJ image. Don't be that ghetto. Don't be that ghetto stuff Allen Iverson be. AI was I love Bubba Chuck, man. Chuck was coming up in there. with 4 XYTs on, the biggest chains around, do-rag like it ain't nothing, diamonds in his ear, fur coat on, what's cracking? You know? So yeah, man. But anyway, though, my point and what I was saying was with Ron, he said Chuck liked to party a little too much. Yeah, Chuck was he liked to party a lot. You know what I'm saying? He said, but I really I was a big fan of AI. I like the flashy style. Um, I like the flashy style that Chuck played with. Chuck had a lot of flair to his game. He wasn't efficient, but it was fun to watch. You know what I'm saying? And again, he reminded me of dudes I grew up with. So I think that's why I gravitated to Chuck. And Chuck was very gracious in interview as a person. A lot of times in interviews, he came across as very gracious. Gracious. Now I heard some people say Chuck may not be the nicest sometimes when you meet him. When you meet him in person, they say sometimes Chuck can be not the nicest person. But yeah. And with the media, he was a lot more gracious, I would say at times, you know what I'm saying? But Iverson can be an asshole too. I believe it. I believe it. Um, Dr. X says, Mac, you are too young to remember this, but I remember during the 90s how NBC would hype up Kobe being able to speak Italian and how he was a great kid. They will also say he was the next MJ. Yeah, at that time, I do think they having a polished image was good for the face of the league. And yeah, they were molding Kobe to be that. Knowing, when you can speak several languages, it says something about your intelligence, right? So Kobe was the intelligent, astute brother that lived overseas, that came from a family that had a professional athlete in it, came from a little bit more a well-to-do family. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, I do think that they were looking at Kobe to be that next individual. You know what I'm saying? They knew he came from Joe Bryant. Joe Bryant was overseas and had Kobe overseas with him, all of that. Say, yeah, AI was the case. Yeah, Kobe had charm. He had a nice smile on him, stuff like that. Those things matter as a face of the league. Having a nice smile, having a polished image, things like that, those things matter. And also having charisma. You know what I'm saying? And Kobe had charisma to him, for sure. He said Kobe messed it up messing with that girl. Well, I mean, he messed with the wrong girl, unfortunately. You got some sisters that just, some girls that have messed with Kobe and wouldn't have said nothing. He messed with one that was like, hey, you know, you feel me? I mean, sure. Look at D Rose having the same thing with Derek. But no, but my point in saying was like when I started the video, I was talking about like there's a lot of that Ron Harper comment was super unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? That's like that just be old head hate, man. And I don't know what it is. Just she talked a little bit too much. That's what messed up her case. Got you. Because I don't even remember why the case, you know, how the case. I mean, I know Kobe didn't go to jail or nothing. He didn't get convicted, but I really don't know what happened with that. Did Kobe used to appear on Disney and Nickelodeon show? He was a teen. Uh, The Kobe is the next MJ hype took off when he had a game against MJ during his second year and scored 30-some points in garbage time in a loss. NBC especially hyped up that game nonstop and declared Kobe as the next MJ. I'm sure. And they had a similar playing style. I'm sure they probably also went with it too. Played the same position, you know. So we had to talk about symbolism with athletes because part of the reason Mike and Kobe got hate is because people believe Bron is more down due to symbolism in and out. Yeah, I do think, and I do think it also appears to the fact that like I mean, yeah, and the fact that Bron probably got a team of black folks with him, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that he had Rich Paul and Maverick and Randy and them all in with him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it looked better to a lot of black folks. You know what I'm saying? Caleb Williams is the next Kevin Garnett. Caleb Wilson. I thought you said Caleb Williams. I was like, what? Caleb Williams. You know what I'm saying? But no, though. You said Jordan didn't F with us like that. Let's not forget Chameleon. That Chameleon story, I think it made a lot of people upset with Mike because Chameleon is such a down to earth person and a good person. Anybody that really like was into Chameleon's music, they knew he's such a good person. So that story was like very, I guess, a lot of people looked at Mike a certain way because of that. It's kind of like if like you an asshole to like Derrick Rose, right? If somebody's an asshole to Derrick Rose, people gonna be like, man, what? Why you being disrespectful to Pooh? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Chameleon that was looked at as like you know what I mean? He was looked at as an upstanding dude. So when that happened with Mike, a lot of people looked at Mike differently. Some people they love Mike regardless because they already knew that Mike could be an asshole. You know what I'm saying? So they really didn't care. But there was some people that kind of look like, oh man, that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Would you 100% say Giannis was better than LeBron? I mean, he's better than LeBron now for sure. You say over like during his career? No, but Giannis is a hell of a player. That's my second favorite player to watch. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Giannis is very, very fun to watch. Hey, Blaze Network, man, that's love, bro. Thank you so much for the donation, man. He said just stopping through to show your page some love. Question: do you ever open up the phone lines for viewer to call? One day I want to call in and get my sports takes out. I don't have a phone line, but I do put the link in the comment section often so that people can click the link and I can bring you up and then y'all can talk on the platform with me. So I do that. I do drop the link in the comment section and tell people to click, and then I'll bring you up to talk to me. And then you talk to me for some minutes, getting your sport takes off and all of that, man. So anytime you want to do it, it's all love, man. I appreciate you too, bro. You always show love, man. That's definitely something that's dope, man. Thank you a lot, man. Me and my family all appreciate it. Because Mike never tried to be nothing but a capitalist. Though I disagree with his stance, he is true to himself. Braun wants to be pro-black and a capitalist, which is an oxymoron. It is. So when you tell me about Braun making them shoes with the Lorraine Motel color, that's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's very capitalistic. You know, you can't do both, and you can't sell us no product using a civil rights leader and like using where he passed away as a tool to sell a product. That's a no-no. That's a no-go. Very capitalistic. So he in turn, if he really, really want to be pro-black, he's gonna have to sit down with some scholars and they have to educate him on why capitalism and being pro-black they don't coincide with each other at all. Because that's a horrible look. Horrible look. And I didn't even know that until I got on live and y'all told me that. You can't be both. If you're gonna be pro-black, you can't try to do that now. That's BS. That's bullshit right there. That is a horrible look. You know what I'm saying? So that was BS to the highest degree. So if he really want to be pro-black and he's serious about that, he got to sit down with some people to tell him how to move, because that is a terrible move. I saw when y'all told me that's all hell no. What? You know what I mean? For real. There's no such thing as being pro-black and capitalistic at the same time. You feel what I'm saying? Because when you're doing both, you know, when you're trying to do both, all that can be labeled is, oh, it's just posturing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm broken pro-black. What you trying to say? Yeah, and look, that's a fair point. Pastor Joint. Y'all know one of Bron's biggest fans on YouTube, right? But that's for real. True, that's 100%. Because what's next after that? Yeah, like my cousin say, you can't serve two masters. You got to make a choice and decide. You got to decide. The same way, and I think Bron has had several missteps, right? Even when because I really think, truthfully, even with the capitalistic stuff, I do think LeBron, because he's from Akron, I do think he care about black. I think he connected to his blackness, and I think he care about black people for real. I think he do care about black folks. However, if you care about black folks and you talk about black issues, don't quote Martin Luther King saying an injustice everywhere is a threat to justice, and injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, because they're going to say, you use that quote. Now we're going to hold your feet to the fire. So when he didn't say anything about China and what they had going on, and he criticized Daryl Morey for making them comments while they were still over there, while the players were still over in China, it appears, hey, you siding with people who are oppressing people. And you said a threat to injustice anywhere is a threat to justice, is a threat to justice and injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, right? When you say that, they're gonna hold your feet to the fire. But LeBron, he can't say, in his mind, he can't say, man, I only care about black issues. If he says that, there are going to be certain people, including Nike, that is going to tell him, hey, I don't think that's good for you to say you only care about black folks. And unfortunately, that's what happens when you are signed with a corporation like Nike. They are going to be able to control your messaging unless you make your own shoe. But you can't say, when you Nike, you can't say, well, you can, but I don't know how well it's going to work out for you when you say, man, I only care about black issues. You know? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, NBA business would take a hit if Bron then spoke out. It would. And 100%. They would take the NBA off TV in China if Bron went against China. 100%. Which would affect his bottom line and everybody else's, right? But that's why you shouldn't put a quote up from Dr. Martin Luther King saying that. Because they're going to flip that and say, well, you said here, you quoted Dr. Martin Luther King. So they're going to say, you got to stand strong to that. You know what I'm saying? You got to stand strong to that. You feel me? That's why I don't even lie. When Dwayne Wade, he started his own shoe, I believe. He left who was he with? Converse at first? Converse. Wade was with Converse now, right? Yeah, they're going to say, you can't say that and then don't speak up against China, unfortunately. And I believe LeBron really just care about black folks and he only care about black issues, right? But he dressed it up. He dressed up his talking about black issues with quoting that Dr. Martin Luther King quote. You know what I'm saying? He dressed it up as a threat to justice, and threat to justice anywhere. An injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And him using that quote, they made that backfire on him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just speak on the issues here. Don't use a certain quote. Don't use a quote to have that as a standing ground to stand on. Stand on what you really feel. Don't use a quote. Don't use that quote to stand on that. If you feel like that, stand on what you feel like. Don't try to use a quote. Cause see what happens is, and I know what he was doing. He was trying to make certain people see what he was saying by quoting Dr. King, making non-black people see what he's saying. But honestly, some point you gotta say fuck what non-black people don't. If they don't understand, fuck it. Who cares? If they don't care, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? It's not for like whatever. If they don't get it, if they don't understand, if they don't care, whatever. But don't use that, don't attach that quote to it. Just stand on the issues and say what you gotta say. That's it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway, though, yeah, he was trying to placate to all humanity. Yes. And I'm gonna say this too. You know who else gets put in that boat? He was. That's a great point. Cause he was trying to placate to all humanity to get them to see what's going on with us. But no, don't do that. Cause then you put yourself in a hole, and then they try to say, oh, well, you didn't speak up for this, LeBron. If you don't speak about this issue, that issue, that issue, they'll say, well, you say, like you quoted Dr. Martin Luther King and say, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So they're gonna use that to say you ain't speaking about this. They're gonna use that to say you need to speak about everything. When you ain't even concerned with everything, you concerned about what's going on your home base with your black people. You feel me? So and that's the same thing. Even like if you notice, Muhammad Ali gets postured as this person who was like trying to always advocate for all humanity a lot of times. Ali was very pro-black, like a motherfucker. He really was most of the time, he was really talking to black folks with a lot of issues he was speaking about. But because he was under the umbrella of Islam, right? People often try to act like he had this worldview of world peace. Ali was every time Ali talked, he was talking to black folks. He was talking to black people every single time. But they put this label on him of this world, like he had this world view and world peace and world activist. He wasn't he wasn't a world activist, y'all. He was an activist for black people. For black people. But to make Ali more palatable for other ethnicities, they try to paint him with this worldview. And he was not. Right? Yeah. So I'll say that. But they do that with a lot of people. Shit. Even with how they whitewash Malcolm, not Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Right? When he wasn't able to move around like he used to be, that's when he became lovable. Yes, because they would cringe at him when he was on these talk shows and he spoke against interracial marriages and interracial dating. When he talked about how most black super athletes, when they get money, they go in the hills and they get them a white wife and they go live amongst white folks all day long and they don't have no concern and no care about what's happening with the black man and woman. He spoke out about that a lot, right? He spoke out about that a lot. But a lot of times they don't like when he talk like that. Yeah, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, formerly known as Chris Jackson, for sure. You know. But yeah, man, I do think when you marry somebody, I do think when you with somebody that's non-black, sometimes subconsciously you can't water yourself down. Like do y'all, I think y'all remember Russell Wilson he wasn't in alignment with Colin Kaepernick initially, right? You feel me? Now I'm sure he is now. You know, because he with that black girl from Atlanta, Georgia. So I know this off topic. What you think about Ye apologizing to us? Man, I don't buy a lot of that from Kanye. Um, I don't buy a lot of that from Kanye. Kanye, man, Kanye apologized to us 1 minute when he trying to sell us something. He apologized to us. Then the next minute he starts speaking against us, throwing us under the bus at the very next turn. This is coming from somebody that's born and raised in Chicago. I do not make all these excuses for Kanye like that other people do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know people who have lost their mother, lost their parents. I know these can affect people in different ways, I'm sure. I know it's traumatizing and it's devastating, but like, Kanye, man, he just be doing so much. He said Ye didn't apologize to us. He apologized to the other community. He gave us a half a sentence. Yeah, like, I don't buy when Kanye do that. He appealed to his blackness when he's trying to get something from us. When he felt like Kim Kardashian wasn't doing something with the kids, right? You start talking about my black kids, and that was a call to black people to be riding out with them. Like, yeah, there's some black kids. And then, he throw us under the bus again. Slavery was a choice. Shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, saying slavery was a choice. Like, come on, bro. That type of stuff, bro. That was just so clowned out to me. It had me really arguing with other black people on why it was so wrong for him to say that. And I ain't gonna lie, man, I was disappointed because there's a lot of intelligent people, that was really trying to side with Kanye. And I'm like, what? What are y'all talking about, man? It's easy to say what we would have done and what we wouldn't have done when you don't live in them conditions, man. We ain't never been subjugated like our people was, our ancestors were, to a point where somebody could grape your wife and your daughter. And the moment you try to do something, you could be unalive, you could have your life taken quick, or they will sell you to another plantation to get rid of you, right? The moment you revolt, then buck back. You know what I'm saying? No justice was going to be able to be brought to you and your family for those things. Another man felt like he had ownership of you and your entire family. We ain't never lived like that. We done been through a lot of racism in this country as black folks, but we currently have never lived like that. So I don't like when people say, I would have did this, I would have did that. Man, what? He is grown. We must judge him by action. I feel for him because he depressed. So like, black people killed me. This is a chess move. Everything is chess, not checkers. I don't even know how to play chess, bro. Like what? Kanye is not factoring in that there could have been slaves that eventually thought they would be freed, hence why they didn't rebel. The slaves knew for sure there was no chance of freedom, then they would have rebelled. And then the fact that it was a lot of rebellions that took place, a ton of them, right? There are a ton of rebellions, and him saying slavery was a choice paints our people as weak and allows white supremacists to take that angle of, well, if you wanted slavery, if slavery is so bad, you all should have just fought back. Hey, look, one of your leaders, Kanye, is even saying it's not our fault. You guys didn't fight back against us. It's not our fault for subjugating you. It was you guys wanted to be subjugated. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, but anyway, yeah, my point. um, you said how we're oppressed. But rap guy, Kanye wasn't talking about mental slavery. He was talking about actual physical captivity, American chattel slavery. And black folks tried to flip it into he talking about mental slavery. No, he wasn't. He was talking about actual slavery. And black folks tried to dress that up for him. Because we love Kanye. But y'all know I told y'all I was one of the biggest Kanye West fans growing up, man. I felt like Kanye saved my life with his music. Well, BS is BS. But anyway, the gist of me talking this live stream is I don't like when I feel like old heads try to figure out a way to just trash LeBron James at every angle. And I think it's corny, especially when you're sitting there with your kids and you got a chance to talk about what they doing. You bring up, oh, I'm not LeBron James. I Black Mall hate J. Cole. Oh man. But yeah, I just feel like that was like, why bring up that man? That man ain't even. It's time you talk about your kids, bro. Time you talk about your kids, you get to talk about, I ain't LeBron. I don't force my kids to do nothing. I don't make my kids do stuff. It's like Kanye was saying, I'm sorry to them. And oh yeah, you too, black folks. Yeah, we got that old hitman damn apology. That old hitman damn. Here. You want some shit? Hitman damn. Yeah. All right. You know that little blur. Remember when in the history books in school, they would give us a whole little excerpt about Dr. Martin Luther King, a whole excerpt about Rosa Parks, and then at the end they'd be like, there were other civil rights leaders like Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, such as they never would say none of them, never would go into detail about them. That was that old hitman damn. Here. All right, y'all. Damn, you want me to mention Malcolm X? Goddamn, here. Kanye also spurred that dumb movement by conservatives in which they said slavery wasn't bad because black people also had see shit like that, right? Kanye sparking that movement, conservatives. It wasn't bad. Y'all had a place to stay. You got some food. You know what I mean? You had a job. Yeah, we had a job. A job is what they pay you for your labor. Black folks weren't paid in which nothing but the most inhumane conditions and getting raped and pillaged by white supremacists, you know? Oh my God. A lot of old heads act like their era was so perfect and they never did anything wrong, but it's far from the truth. The 90s had its flaws just like the 80s had its flaws. And that's my point, man. I think a lot of times when I speak about, the youth and the older generation colliding or having conflict, a lot of times people look at me as attacking the older generation. But I told you I was raised by the older generation, you know what I'm saying? So like, and I have a lot of respect for the older generation. It's just the fact that a lot of times the elders try to act like everything was just peaches and cream and all gravy back then, which was not the case. You know what I'm saying? But say what bike man do to you? Yeah, they did a horrible job trying to express the human trafficking and Provident our leaders participating in. I hate the slave comparison when it comes to players. Slave, yeah, and I don't like the comparison either. Slaves did not get paid for sure, you know. But yeah, man, yeah. So like even with me bringing up Ron Harper, and I said old head hating. I had to explain that when I saw somebody call somebody an old head, it's really a term of endearment. But hating is the old head hating is not. Cause I just find like, I feel like with LeBron, a lot of elder statesmen feel like they can throw shots at him and then when they see him, it's all love. And a lot of times I wish LeBron James didn't care about image so much and will respond like Kevin Durant. Cause KD say how he feel. Cause a lot of times, man, a lot of people have to be check because it be getting too ridiculous now. Like I'm like, yo, what is this about? You know what I mean? Like he gets a lot of like you don't even be talking about LeBron James. You just bring him up out of nowhere. LeBron not even a topic of discussion. It's like, oh yeah, and LeBron James, his ass can't stand his ass. LeBron James, he do this, he do that. Da, 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 da. Like, bro, we talking about you. Said, I love KD, but my man is an asshole. Well, and I think a lot of times, man, it's been warranted due to the fact that how fans talk about him and talk crazy to him on Twitter and social media. So I think it's like he got to the point where, man, I'm gonna talk crazy back, man. Forget all this, man. Fuck this. Right? Even the little dude, it's a Clippers fan. What is that dude name, man? What is his name? It was after Ray Daniels made that comment about LeBron not growing up with a daddy and Kobe having a daddy and then making Kobe more masculine and more he approached things more man-like because he had a daddy. And the dude named Jacob the Clipper or something like that on Twitter. So white guy. So white dude. He like doubles down on Ray Daniels comments like, yo, yeah, I always said this. LeBron and KD didn't have no father. And I'm like, why is a white man? This is the guy. He got a white man talking about LeBron, and yeah, I agree. LeBron and Katie didn't have no fathers, so they respond like da 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 da. Everybody like KD father always been in his life. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like shit like that, bro. Like, and again, Ray Daniels is as an older guy. He probably in his 40s or 50s, late 40s or 50s. So but he ain't had no daddy. So da, 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 da. And it's like, bro, what? A lot of great athletes didn't have fathers, man. You know what I'm saying? And they were solid individuals. You know? Now I did make a video saying KD mama do be running on the court grabbing on his face a lot. But I didn't say he's not man like or like, or alluding to somebody being more of a man because they had their father or didn't. I think that's out of bounds and out of pocket. Um uh Cuz say Ray Daniels made the dumbest comment of the year so far. Most homosexuals I know, including my own cousins, come from two-parent households. And when I think about it, there's a lot of them that I know that have come from two-parent households. So, and again, I've known many solid men who came from single mother households. I've known some dudes I know some suckers that grew up with their fathers. I know some grade A suckers who grew up with their fathers for real. You know? He said John Wayne Gacy, Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer had his father in his life. I never watched that Jeffrey Dahmer docu-series. I never watched it. But man, yes, that line on his father is a weirdo. Yes, Jeffrey Dahmer's mom didn't like him. Didn't like who? Jeffrey Dahmer's dad? Yeah, I thought Ray Daniels was just that was just out of pocket. He more manly than this one. It's like, bro, dude with dads in their life. Excuse me. My bad, y'all. Dudes with dads in their life, you know, have done some flaw stuff too. Because all that for all us saying Kobe grew up with his father. Kobe wasn't even on speaking terms with his dad for real like that when he passed away. Wasn't close with his dad. And for all that having his dad in his life, you know, for all that having his father in his life, Kobe still got in the interrogation room and told on Shaq's infidelities. Something that a lot of fake alpha males would say would be a sign to a man who didn't have their father. Or if you tell on another man's infidelities, they say that's fatherless behavior. And Kobe had a daddy, and he still told on Shaq. Still told on Shaq. So what is we talking about? And that was my point when I addressed Ray Daniels. Like, you know what I'm saying? The whole thing. Like, bro, what? We can point to many things that people who had a father that have done it, that people who had a father, we can point to many flawed things that people who have a father have done. Now, I do think Kobe's parents should have came to his wedding. I always say that. Yes, my parents would have showed up. Now, they would have been in there still not disagreeing with me, but they still would have showed up. You know what I'm saying? But well, I'm telling you, my mom and my father would have been, boy, listen, better get that prenup you married this woman. They would have been, man, you sure you want to get married, man? You're so young, son. What? What? Yes, and that's true. So my problem is that when it comes to the father combo, is there isn't any nuances to the conversation. It's just certain black folks use it as a flex. That's some weirdo shit. Yes. And I try not to do that myself because, I had my father in my life. He wasn't in the house with me, But I can go to my dad's house anytime I want to. I could be over there. I was at my dad's house for months at a time. He was taking me to school every day. It didn't matter. I can go over there whenever I wanted to, stay for however long I wanted to. We were tight. I talked to him every single day, nearly every day, right? He come get me from school. I go to his house. I'd be over there for a month and a half, kicking it over there with him, my sister, my stepmother, my brother, you know what I mean? So um I'm always careful though not to try to denigrate I try to be careful not to denigrate other black men who didn't have their fathers because I know it's not their fault, right? So I should never like try to like son or flex on other black men. I had my daddy, you didn't. You know, because it's not their fault that they didn't have a father. You know what I'm saying? That's their father's fault from not being there. So yeah, that's 100% true. Z Money said my pops was a no nonsense dude. He was in the military, leader of the community. My brother still got life. My other brother Daryl is a pimp. See what I'm saying? You see how that work? Your dad did everything all right, like they say a black man supposed to do with his children, raise his children right, and all of that. And your brother still did what he wanted to do. I know several dudes in Chicago who had their father in their life. Father was in the home with them, right? And they still chose the streets because they got enamored or the streets. They became so impressionable. The streets they wanted to impress the streets more, you know. What got me about Ray Daniels' comments is saying LeBron not having a father made him switch teams. That had nothing to do with that. So he would tell his son to stay at a job that's not yeah, like as a you stay there because Kobe had nearly left the Lakers. The only reason he didn't leave is because they brought him Pau Gasol. You know what I'm saying? So was Kobe if Kobe would have left the Lakers, would he been not a man, or it would have been not manly if he left the Lakers because he almost did until they pulled the trigger on that Pau Gasol trade. For sure, I'm with you on that. Talking Grubbing Media, and that was my point. He wanted that. Zeddy Perry say that's different. That's what Red told Smokey and Craig on Friday. That was different, but that was different for sure. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, I'm starting to cough. I don't know. I'm sneezing. I'm not getting no cooties, man. That Kobe picked Vanessa over his parents. I mean, he could assume that. And you have some people that say that's what you're supposed to do. That's your wife. That's your wife. Yada yada yada. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the game. You got some people that say that, but then some people be like, "Yo, you can choose your wife and still love your family and look after your people too." Said facts. We got to do a better job lifting each other up instead of pointing to low hanging fruit just to express a point. Yeah, man. Like, 'cause sometimes I think I had to check myself several times before in certain things I would do, right? When I got to college and I would talk about like, you know, I would make points about how like certain dudes in the hood be doing the most like the silliest stuff and look at these mother they doing, they ain't doing nothing, yada yada yada. And then it was a point where I realized that a lot of people who was happiest for me were the dudes that came from the hood that was, you know what I'm saying, that probably didn't have a whole lot going on per se, but they was the happiest for me. So I had to change my critique of certain things and kind of still just try to lead by example. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, times I had to check myself as well. Yeah, that's my point too, Charlie X. LeBron served his contractual obligations every single time. Every single time. He didn't leave and demand a trade to get up out of nowhere. He fulfilled his entire contract every single time and then left on his own free will to another organization. He always played out his contract. He didn't get in there telling people trade me here, trade me there. I want out, I want out, I want out, I want out. It's never what he did, you know? But people don't care about that though. The family you created and the wife comes before everybody. Not true. But I could never in my good conscience leave my people out here hurting. Because my mama and my father and my siblings, they got me to where I was at too. You know what I'm saying? They would support me every step of the way. When I ain't have nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like when you ain't had nothing, when you was trying to make it, shoot, they was paying for basketball shoes and shorts and hooking you up with the finest trainers to hone your skills. I'm speaking of in Kobe's instance. Joe Bryant's connections had you with the finest trainers to hone your skills. Now it was incumbent upon Kobe to have the drive to get as great as he became, right? Because certain players have access to trainers and all of that, and they don't get to that level. So that's a credit to Kobe. Kobe, you know, Bronny had access to certain things. He not on Kobe level. So you know what I mean? Credit to Kobe. But at the same time, you got to remember who was there for you on your way up. Your mother, your father, your family, your siblings, right? That was all you had. And just because I got a family that I created, just because I have a family that I created does not mean I will throw them to the wayside. Yeah, I gotta make sure my people, my family, my kids, my wife straight. But I ain't gonna have my mom and my dad and my sisters and them out here hurting. They ain't gonna want for nothing either. And my wife is not gonna dictate how much I'm giving to them. None of that. I'm sorry. And I know that's especially when that's my it sound people gonna say it sound misogynistic. But call it what you want to. When this is when I'm in here, and I know they say it's y'all money when you marry. Yeah. But listen, I'm going out here putting sweat in on the court to get this paper. I'm gonna make sure our family is all good. But my mom and them gonna be straight too. You know what I'm saying? You know? Say facts, cuz setting an example is the best to lead your fellow man. If they really F with you, there should behaviors to match yours. Learn that in military, ridicule only goes far. Yeah, man, I have to learn like you have to lead by example. So it's certain things times I have to check myself. And this is in life. We got to do that a lot of times. You check yourself when you feel like you tripping, you on some BS. You know what I mean? And I had to check that because a lot of people that was rooting for me, you know what I'm saying, came from the community that I came from, may not have been doing the best things at times. You know what I mean? But they still was showing me love. And it's like, no. I can't do that. They're still my people, regardless of, you know, might have some stuff going on that I necessarily don't agree with or whatever. But it's a certain way to still lead and lead by example. When I watch people and how they talk about Derrick Rose being around Derrick and how being around him motivated them to be better in certain areas, you know what I mean? So yeah, you know. So yeah, but yeah, I do think your wife and family you create comes first. But me personally, man, my people was too monumental in my life for me to be like, nah, forget them. You see what I'm saying? Like my sisters and them, boy, what? You feel me? Like I'm being real with y'all, like transparent moment. Like when I lost my job, y'all, and I had to like hustle on YouTube and because my unemployment check wasn't enough to pay all my bills I had, man, what? Like my sister and them was making sure I was straight. You feel me? Like my sister now, man. Right? So like it's been times when my work hours at this job I got right now, I got so low, I was short on rent and stuff. My sister them came through. Right? So I'd be damned if I got up and I'd be like, I got a wife, I got kids already, but I got a wife, and I just say, I'm getting everything to my wife and F y'all. I couldn't do that. Yeah, my wife and my kids come first, but ain't no way I could never forget about my mama and my sister, and my dad and them. You feel me? Because they looked out for me when stuff got hard for me, man. Like, you know what I mean? I could never be like, forget them. You know, because that's love, man. My mom and them, I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. My mom and my dad, I remember my father, when I was coming up, my father did not work for he worked for himself. He had his own cable business, right? The bootleg cable man, but he made good money for a long time doing that. At a point, I told y'all the story about when I got ready to go to college in 2011, the cable business started to slow up, right, the cable started to be harder to bootleg because the digital boxes became a thing, right? And it was harder to bootleg to hook up the digital boxes that you used to could do with the analog boxes and whatnot, right? So the cables business started to slow up a little bit. But my dad knew he had to get me to college and get me everything I needed and all of that. And not get when I say get me to college, he had to get all the certain things I needed. Him and my mom both had to get certain stuff I needed. I had a full academic scholarship. I will never forget my dad working day and night doing every cable job he could to make sure I had everything I needed for me to go to school. Right. So and all throughout my life, my dad was doing that, you know. So I could never get to a certain point and be like, F him. I got a family, I got a wife and kids, not F him. I can't do that. Yeah, I got a wife and kids, they're gonna be taken care of. But if I'm got $500 million, huh? You think my mom and my daddy not gonna have millions too? My sisters and them too. They gonna have millions too. I don't live the life where like I be like, fuck my sisters and them. This is my money. I don't do that. Cause it took all for me to get to a certain point. I know, especially in my family, for me to get to a certain point, it took everybody in my family to help me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And my wife not dictating how I take care of my people. I'm sorry. A lot of people not gonna agree with that. She not doing that. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Cause my mama been married and stuff. And she still said, I'm gonna make sure my son got what he needed. You feel me? Again, during the time my work hours got low, I ain't had enough to cover certain parts of my rent. My mama married, and still I'm gonna make sure my son got what he needs. You know what I'm saying? My father in the same way. So yeah, I can't come from that, bro. I'm not cut like that, bro. You feel me? My people and them stood with me in certain times, so I can't be like F y'all. I got a wife now. F y'all. Yeah, I got a wife. Shit, my wife gonna be well taken care of and all of that, along with my kids. But my mama, my daddy, my sister's gonna have some millions too. Cause shit, they all played a part in me get here. When I first started my channel, I'm hollering and screaming, making videos. I'm all in my mama house doing that. And at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, right? My mama knowing, I know my mama gotta go to work in the morning. You know what I'm saying? My sister and them gotta work and or gotta get stuff to do. My sister gotta go to school. You feel me? My mama gotta get up and go to work, all of that. My mama let me holler and yell in her house making videos. Cause she knew that's what I wanted to do. I had a passion for doing that. And she knew I wanted to build my channel up. You feel me? So she knew that what my son liked to do. That's what he liked to do. That's what he do. I'm gonna let my son rock out, man. He ain't hurt nobody. He went to school for communication. She let me rock out. If I get supremely high within this YouTube world and I make a whole lot of money, I'll be damned if my mama can't call me and ask me for something. You feel me? I'll be damned. But my people ain't gonna, they not gonna use me as an enabler though. You feel me? So yeah. But I could not see them struggling and not help them though. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do that because of how they helped me. That vector marketing video, I'm in the car with my mama, Charlie, and my mama in the car with me. My mama drive. You feel me? I'm still living with my mama. I made that video. My mama right on the side of me. You see what I'm saying? Like my mama, what? You feel me? So I couldn't, what? I could never be like, yeah, forget my sister now. Nah, what me time my sister them to save me? You know, so again, my relationship with my people different. See, I came from a real close knit family like that. So like my people, we all came together, stood firm with each other. Shit, somebody needs something, we ain't, hey, get us to K, get us to Nate. So that's just how my people was. I understand some people family different. Some people family dynamic different where they don't really do that or whatever, but mine was different though, you know? And I ain't telling you what you should do with your people, but yeah, man. Oh yeah, I'm in there hollering all through my mama crib. She like, man, that's what my son like to do, man. Did what it is. You know, so yeah. But anyway though, I could not have no paper. He said, before I bought my crib a few years ago, my OG let me stay for like 3 months while I did my search, rent free. And that's real. Shout out to Auntie. Shout out to Auntie, man, for real, man. That's real. That's love, man. You know, and some people don't look at it like that, but I don't know, man. I'm just again, my family dynamic, we was like real close. So especially like my immediate people, my extended family too, though. You know. Yeah, you remember? Hey, you remember when I had the low cut, bro? He said them low cut, man. I stayed with the low cut. I stayed with a fade then, low fade. So yeah, man, shit like so that stuff matter. But anyway, though, man, and we've been on here for a little minute too. Been on there for a minute there, boy. What my boys say on that what big boy say on ATL. I still gave her some pay, but having a village, yeah, having a village helps, man. You know what I'm saying? Having a village helps. I help out with my parents with bills, groceries, all that. Like, real talk. Like, look, I'm gonna be transparent with y'all, bro. I swear on everything I love. Um, when my grandfather died, and he set my grandmother up very well, right? He set my grandmother up very well, right? My grandma got all his pension and all that. She had all that, right? But do you know my grandmama called each and every one of her grandkids, gave us about 2,000 apiece. It's a nice crew of us too. Me, hey, you feel me? And again, I was boy, what at the time this happened, I'm about to get ready to have my son. When she finally got the money, she called all of us individually. Hey, here, there you go. Gave us 2,000 apiece. All the grandkids. Hey, here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Right? My granny, and again, my grandfather, he died. He made sure she was straight. She called us, gave us 2 stacks apiece, and make sure we was all good. So like, I ain't like stuff like that, boy. What? I can't never forget that stuff. But even before then, though, grandma and them always looked out for us. We always were strong like that, man. So yeah, and I'm grateful that, and honestly, yeah, my grandmama, my granddaddy made sure my grandma was taken care of like that, to even where she could be okay when he passed away, you know? She could be okay because my grandma was still working at the time. He said, your grandma looking for another grandchild right here. Yeah, man. Hey, look. When she did that, it was like, what? And again, my son was just about to be born at the time. So hold on. We finna get this. We gotta get that. I'm trying to prepare for my little man to come into the world. You know what I'm saying? At the time she get it. So yeah, when she got that lump sum of little money that she got from my grandfather, she called all one of us. Hey y'all, come on over here. I got something for y'all. You know? So yeah, man. I was blessed for that. I was blessed for that. And at the time she gave me that, that's when I had my job that I had. It was really, really, good paying job, and then eventually I lost it and shit. Here we are today. I'm out here on the grind. We gonna get back to what we used to be, man. It's just an ever growing climb, man. It's an ever growing climb. But yeah, man, I got back into the job market, into a job that's paying me significantly less than what I used to make, significantly less. But and then they playing with the hours, but I got faith. We're gonna get to what we gotta get to, where we used to be at, and higher, at some point. But yeah, man. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, man. But yeah, man. Look, we had I've never gotten down enough for anyone ever. That's dope. Yeah, man. That was the first time that I ever got it from somebody, from my grandma. My people, all us been in the boat where we trying to do what we got to do to make it. You feel me? So I never got that from anybody either until my grandmama got that lump sum from when my grandfather passed away. You know, and she was able to give us that. This was years ago. This is like uh 6 years ago. 6 or 7, 6 years ago. 6 years ago. Yeah. So that was the first time that ever happened to me. You know, because like again, most of our people, we all been in the same boat, trying to make it, just trying to do what we got to do to survive and maintain out here and all of that, you know. But when grandma got what she got from my granddaddy, she called all of us. And like I said, that was love, you know. But again, I'm just grateful that my grandfather had my grandma set up. Not for us really, but for her so she could be okay. When he passed away, because he passed away untimely. Like my grandfather, he wasn't even 70 years old when he passed away. He wasn't even 70 yet. So like he passed away young, you know. He was a couple of years away from being 70 years old, passed away young. And so yeah, it was unexpected. All of that. Really, he got sick unexpectedly. Health started to decline significantly. But he had everything in place, you know, for my grandma to be all right, be good. And so I was always, you know, I always think about that, you know. But yeah, man, yeah, a gig is a gig for sure. I'm out here grinding though. I'm grinding cuz I appreciate it, cuz for sure. Um, what y'all got going on? Hey, look, I swear I be seeing the craziest stuff on the Chicago Red Line, y'all. And I wish I had the meta glasses, but I could record what I be seeing on the red line going downtown. I swear, I was on the red line last week, y'all. And on the train, people be selling all type of stuff. They be selling, you know, really a lot of times they selling weed and pills and stuff. Buying weed and pills off the train is crazy to me, right? But this dude come through, he's selling body oils. They used to be the hustle selling body oils and stuff like that. But I could tell he hot, like he just all discombobulated. It's a woman sitting across from me, and he trying to talk to the woman, right? Uh, hold on. Yeah. So he trying to talk to the woman. The woman is not trying to talk to him. So he tell her, she tell him, "Hey, can you leave me alone?" Like I told you before, he stopped talking to her. A woman come through the train door. They be moving through the train. Come through the train door. She obviously she's on some drugs too, right? She's what people would call a cluck. A wig all crooked on her head. He high too. He got a bag of chips with him. She asks, "Can I get some of them chips?" He look at her. He say, "Is you a woman? Are you a woman?" And she say, "Yeah, I'm a woman." He say, "Yeah, you can get some." She sit down next to him and trying to eat. He start eating them chips. He say, "You so pretty. You just so pretty." I'm like, fam, you just asked her, was she a woman? Literally 30 seconds ago. Now she's so pretty. What? Right? She tearing them damn hot country curls up. He kissing her on her cheek and shit. I'm like, man, what is going on here? What the hell is going on? She don't give a damn about him kissing her on her cheek. She tearing them damn chips up. Hot crunchy cheese curls. Tearing them up. Killing them chips. I like, hey man, hey man, say man. Boy, what? When she asked to get the chips, that brother said, "You a woman?" She said, "Yeah, I'm a woman." I say, man, what be going on the red line, bro? I don't know what be happening on here, but it could be his own TV show. I wish I was recording. I'd be looking like, boy, every day you go see some stuff on here. He's like, this could be his own show. Um, what you say? My dog say I'm 7 minutes behind on the video, but how old were you when you got your first place? So when I was in grad school, I got my own place, but that I wasn't paying no rent because the grad school stuff it came out of tuition. So I didn't pay no rent when I was in grad school. I was 22 years old in grad school. I had my own apartment, but that was through graduate housing, right? I had my own apartment where I was paying rent. I moved into that when I was about 25, 24, 25. Like 24 or 25. I want to say 24. I was 24 at the time when I moved into my own place. 24. Um, and then you asked, did the YouTube money help pay for rent? No, because my channel did not become monetized to like shit. I ain't monetized my channel to like 2021 or something like that. So I was paying my rent strictly. At that point, I was strictly doing YouTube strictly for the love and building up my channel. For real. And because actually they sent me a letter. Google sent me a letter to get my stuff monetized in like 2020. But I really didn't know that that's how I was supposed to trigger my monetization. So I let the letter sit around. They sent another one. Then I think I really got my channel monetized in like 2021. 2021 when I got it monetized. For sure. So yeah, for them couple of years, I was paying my rent strictly based on my job, you know, the actual job I worked. I was 19. However, I had 2 kids already and was working for 3 years by the end. Plus was outside, so my reality was different than most 19-year-olds. Yeah, I get that for sure. Yeah, my mom was like 16, 7, like 17, like something crazy, like 17 or something when she got her own place. Yeah. So yeah, I can see that for sure. Like when I had my daughter, I was in school. It was a high school. High school, my daughter was born, but then I went away to college. So I really was not living in the traditional setup to even have my own apartment. Because I finished college at 20. No, I'm lying. When I moved into my own place, I was about like 25, going on 26, something like that. Because I graduated grad school at 24, 24. So I was like 25, going on 26, something like that. Yeah. I wasn't 24 yet. I graduated grad school at 24. So then I left grad school, came back to Chicago. I was living with my mama for about like a year and a half. And then I got my own spot. How I didn't wind up with kids yet, only God knows. Hey man, sure, you might have been being smart or you got lucky. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Yup. In grad school, like I said, I had my own apartment then, but I wasn't paying rent because it came out of the tuition. So that was just me just having to just take care of school. I didn't have to worry about rent in grad school. Just take care of the school business so that I can keep my grad assistantship. Because the grad assistantship is where you work for the professors and they pay you. So I was getting paid bi-weekly. Right. I had a full grad assistantship. So I was getting like almost $500 every 2 weeks. And then on top of my refund check, so I had like, you get a big little refund check you get. And then every 2 weeks, I was getting close to like $500. So at that point, I was able to stack up money because like I didn't pay no rent. I wasn't paying no rent or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Only thing I was paying was like a phone bill. And then I was sending my daughter's mama money for school tuition. But at that point, her tuition was small at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't reporting what I was getting, and her mama wasn't making a lot. So shit, we was just paying like $100 a month. You know what I'm saying? So we split it $50 down the middle, and then it was just that. So I really was able to just stack up. So at that point, that's when I had every fit in H&M. I damn near had every clothing item in the men's department in H&M at that point. Because I was really, retail therapy was my thing. I was stressed out in grad school. I did a lot of research, a lot of writing, a lot of long sleepless nights, a lot of procrastinating. And so I would like go to the malls and stuff like that to get my mind off of it. Go to the movies, go to the mall. You know what I'm saying? Go to eat with my peoples out there. Kind of like as a way to escape. So yeah. hmm Yeah, Charlie, you responsible, brother. When I first came in US, I didn't know the language. Kids would roast the hell out of me. Why are you so dark? Z Money, where you from, man? 2008 to 2010-ish was a different world. Completely seems like a fever dream. I'm sure. Like, man, you can get you a nice little apartment in 2008 for about $900, $850. You know what I'm saying? Now, a nice little apartment, they want $1,400, $1,500 in Chicago, you know, which is cheaper than many other places, you know? So, yeah, back in them days, boy, what? I ain't gonna lie, bro. My mom's put the fear of the Almighty in my black. Ah, yeah, black mamas will do that too. My mom put that fear in me too, but I still, you know. So people from Nigeria, but we migrated to Texas. Okay. And man, I moved to Hawaii in '09. Rent was already 2,000 out there. That's crazy. So you know, my homie live in Hawaii, man. And why not Hawaii? He's my roommate from college, man. So I I know it's crazy expensive. You say even rent was 2,000 out there in '09, boy. What? Woo! Hawaii do not be playing. Yeah, which island is Waianae on? I'm trying to remember. I gotta ask my homie. Was it Oahu? I lived in Pearl City and Honolulu. It's on Oahu. Okay. Waianae on Oahu. I think that's how you pronounce it. So yeah. It 2K rent. The hell didn't happen? I can imagine what it is out there now, Hawaii. God damn. So I'm 24. I just got out of college. I really want to move, but the job market is shot and rent is way too high. I might get this YouTube thing a shot, man. I'm sick of this 9 to 5 life too. Yeah, man. I'm doing the YouTube thing, but I'm still working because I ain't made it to where I can just rely on a YouTube income. I gotta make a lot of money on YouTube to be able to get money. To be able to get money from YouTube and then wait a whole nother month to be able to just have money for got to make a good chunk of change on YouTube to be able to just get paid once a month, basically, is what I'm saying. YouTube pay you out once a month. I got to be making a big chunk of change to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we going to get there, baby. We going to get there. Said, why not like the mountainous side of the island? Got you. Cause say you lived in Pearl City and Honolulu. Okay, got you. Yeah, man, my roommate from college out there, he from Chicago too, actually. He from Chicago. We went to school in Mississippi together. That's my dog, man. My dog Mill. The dunk contest last night was abysmal. I didn't even watch, y'all. I seen highlights, man. I'm gonna tell y'all, man, it's really hard, man. A lot of the dunks that people will wow people have already been done. Or was just man, say, okay, bet. My wife wanna move back, but it's too pricey right now. I'm already knowing it's pricey, but I'm sure like being in Hawaii, because my boy tell me like coming from Chicago and being in Hawaii and being around the water and all of that, it's a beautiful sight, beautiful thing, man. I already know. Look, did TT and Auntie and them come out there and visit y'all while y'all was out in Hawaii, cuz? Times is real out here. People are literally with people who they can't stand due to them needing half their rent. Yeah, for real. That's a real thing, man. A lot of people with people they can't stand. People they hate because they want to get that, they just need that other half of that rent paid. We could be roommates. We can hate each other. I stay over here, you stay over there. I just need that other half of that rent, baby. It's a lot of people doing that right now. It's unfortunate, but yeah, man. I remember my homie that live in New York, right? He went to grad school in Columbia in New York. And he's like, that's a real thing for a lot of people in New York City. A lot of folks, you know what I'm saying, live with people they hate or really despise just because they just need their rent. So they stand with people or stand in relationships that's dead end, or stand in relationships where they don't even see nothing. There's no real future in it. I just need this rent paid. Until the meantime, I just need that other half. Said, nah, they never came out because plane ticket was like 13 to 1500 then round trip. Wow. Yeah, I know them plane tickets to Hawaii is super expensive. Cause I don't even know, like my homie, when he would come to the Chi, I think he would get a connecting flight where he would like go to Chicago to California, I think, and then fly to California to Hawaii. I think that's how my homie would do it. When he came, he would always have connecting flights. I just used to fly back and see them. It's cheaper pay for one person than four, right? Yeah, I'm already knowing. How long you was in Hawaii for, cuz? Yeah, them plane tickets crazy expensive. Yeah, the connections will knock a few hundred off. Yeah, them connecting flights. Shoot, boy. Hey, too, I used to be nervous about connecting flights. So, like, I be wondering like this. Let's just say your plane is delayed. Because I've taken connecting flights a few times, but this never happened to me. Let's say you have a problem with your plane in the main, like where you leaving, like the first destination. And you get to by the time you get to the second destination, your plane gone. What they do? They just put you on another plane, or do you gotta pay for another flight? What do they do when that happens? Like, let's just say you got a connecting flight from Chicago to California, then you leave from California to Hawaii. What do they do if you got a problem? If like a plane issue happens in Chicago, right? And you say, yeah, you screwed because they put you on standby. See, boy. Cause like, man, I remember when I was on connecting flights, I used to always be scared. Like, damn, what if some bullshit happen while I'm on? what if while I'm sitting here waiting for this plane, they got an issue, and I happen to miss that plane that's connecting? I'd be mad as hell. Cause a few times I did that. Like when I went to California for this little academic little conference I was in, had a connecting flight, had connecting flights when I went to take my homegirl to a ball at Hampton, Virginia, Hampton University. Um, had connecting flights before when I went to uh like where else I went to? When I went to Vegas, when I went to I think just Vegas. It happened to you, say it happened to me. Yeah, see. I know you was heated. Like, man, damn, man, what? Mm-mm. Why is this dude, this content creator on Instagram? He from Chicago. My man was singing Crossroads. He was singing to the Crossroads beat, and he was like, "Take you to McDonald's right there on Stony. Take you to McDonald's right there on Stony, right there on Stony Island." The only time I've flown first class was due to me being on standby in Denver for damn near an entire day. Woo, heated. Now my mom's, told y'all when I was a shorty, my mom's used to work. Take you to McDonald's. And that joint was just hilarious to me. But anyway, when I was a shorty, my mama used to work for United Airlines, and she wasn't getting paid a lot of money at all, but she still had them flight benefits. So at the time, we staying on 65th and Minerva, this in Woodlawn area, right off like 65th and Ellis, right off like probably like 3-minute drive from, for my non-Chicago people. 65th and Minerva was like a 3-minute drive from Parkway Gardens, aka O Block, right? We was living over there at the time. But my mama worked for the airline, so like we would fly for free in first class. So you could imagine, like I always remember me and my sister being kids in first class, and they serving us this old nasty looking food. I'm looking like, where's the chicken nuggets? Where is the burgers and fries up in here? I'm not want that. They serving us this grilled chicken with grapes on top of it and everything. You know what I'm saying? But it was an experience though as a kid. You know, we flew first class every time because my mom worked for the airline stuff. And we got some experiences in as kids because of that. Even though we was living in the hoods of Chicago, we was able to go to the Mall of America, able to go to Disney World several times, you know, DC, stuff like that, you know. Uh Able to go see family in uh Montgomery, Alabama. I mean, it's not Montgomery, Birmingham. In Birmingham, Alabama, we go down there, go see our family down there, stuff like that. That was a real a fun perk of my mama had working for the airline, man. So y'all still alive? Yeah, we still on this thing, man. We still on this thing, pimp. So my mom was a nurse and my dad drove the bus. No fun days at work with them at all. You said no fun days at work with them at all to share, Mac. Yeah. So look, speaking of nurse, I speak about my auntie a lot. My mama's sister. So my mama's sister had a sister that lived in Champaign, right? My mama got a sister that lived in Champaign. But at the time she was living in Chicago, she was living over east, southeast side. My auntie was the first RN that I ever met in my life. My auntie was an RN, and she was an RN, became an RN back in like the late 90s. You know what I'm saying? So when I used to go to my auntie house, at the time, she only had my cousin Jamal. She only had my cousin at the time. She eventually had my other little cousin Raven, but she had my cousin Jamal. My mama used to dress me and Jamal up alike and all of that. We was a year apart. When I used to go to my auntie house, you know, RNs made some pretty good money. She would give us $50 a piece to spend. Now, can you imagine in 2002, 2001, getting $50 from your auntie and she say, "Here, y'all." She would do it because she only had my cousin. She would give us $50 a piece. We go over there, right? Boy, what you can eat off $50 for some days. That's when McDonald's had a dollar menu, little Chinese spot selling food for the low, right? We in there. I'm buying magnet earrings at the beauty supply. This is when I ain't have my ears pierced. You had the magnet earrings in and whatnot. Yes, I used to love Auntie. Auntie be showing love. Boy, I ain't never had no $50 bill in my hand. I ain't know you and I were cousins, my boy. Yeah, my cousin Jamal, man. Yeah. That was my favorite. That's one of my favorite cousins, man. Like, cause he was a year older than me. And then like we used to hoop a lot together. You know what I mean? Then I had my other cousins that was like younger than me. But like, you know, when we were shorties, you know, I was like the oldest, like one of the oldest ones or whatever. But yeah, man, my auntie come pen out them $50 bills. What? I'm like, hold on now, auntie over here giving us $50. Shoot, I was happy as hell. She gave us that $50 bill. I'm like, what you finna do with your $50? Yeah, man. But anyway, y'all, man, I done been on this thing for a long, long time, man. I'm finna get off this thing. I gotta give me something to eat real quick, man. Eat me some food real quick. I appreciate all y'all that's been rocking out with me, man. Hey, my dog Blaze Network gave a beautiful donation, man. That's love, brother. I appreciate you a ton, man. If anybody want to donate to the channel, my cash app is right here below my finger. $ Mac Miller 5. Again, that's $ Mac Miller 5. Thank y'all a ton, man. Yeah, I'm gonna pop back on here a little later on tonight, man. Pop back on here with y'all and talk some mess. I'm gonna make some regular videos though. I've been lacking in my regular video department. I've been doing a lot of live streams lately, so I'm gonna get back to regular videos too. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna do that too. I'm gonna put up some regular videos before the nightfall. So thank y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Hit that like button too before y'all get up out of here. I'm gonna holler at y'all a little later. Peace.